Hi folks, John Hecker here again. Today we're going to talk about why shots go to the left and to some extent why they hook. Okay, on the screen I have three lines set up. The line on the right, which is the yellow line, represents the club path at impact. The blue line on the far left here represents the face angle at impact, and the red line represents where the ball will start. Okay, this is really for a driver. The ball's going to start about 85% on the face angle, where the face is at impact. So the face angle has more of a control on where the ball is going to start than the path does. With an iron it's about 75%, and when you get to a sand wedge it's about 50-50, mostly because there's so much loft and it takes away the influence of the angle of the face when you increase the loft. Okay, so the ball, anytime that the club face is close to the path, and in this case we're representing a right-handed golfer, if the club face is to the left of the path, the ball is going to hook. Now when that gets distorted, when you get a big hook, chances are your face angle has a big deviation from where your path is. So if you're swinging way to the right and your face is aiming to the left a pretty good amount, you've got a big hook. Okay, so what other ways will the ball hook? Well, interestingly enough, a big influence is something that the club manufacturers did when the clubs were made. This is a driver here. This doesn't show as much influence. It's going to show more influence than it would with an iron, but you can see it's not a straight club. There are kind of angles that fall off on both the heel and the toe. If you hit the ball towards the toe, which I'm kind of highlighting right here in red, that puts gear effect spin on the ball. It actually is something the club manufacturers did to help us. So if you hit the ball on the toe of the club, the ball will tend to start to the right and hook back to the center. And even a person who swings across the ball, in other words, outside in a lot, it may not get the ball to hook, but it will minimize the slice. So it's a lot of slicers tend to hit the ball off the toe, and I think unconsciously they've realized, hey, if I hit the ball in this spot on the club face, it's going to minimize my slice, so to work to my advantage. So interestingly enough, the toe of the club will cause the balls to hook and ultimately end up to the left. And the last way that the ball will tend to go to the left is if your clubs do not fit you properly, and you can see Titleist has a nice chart here that shows that. So shots that tend to go to the left could be if your clubs are too upright for you. That will tend to close the club face and send the ball to the left. So you've got three ways of doing it. You've got swinging with the club face close to the arc. That creates a hook. You've got the actual club face itself, where you hit it on the face. If you hit it on the toe, that'll tend to cause a hook. And if your clubs are not fit properly for you, in other words, they're too upright, that'll tend to cause a hook. So three ways to look for it. Hope this helps you when you get out there on the course and you have some questions about why the ball's going where. It'll give you some ideas of where to look to improve or change those things to correct that. So hope that helps you, and we'll see you out on the course.